Well, good morning, and the church service that starts the parliamentary year is always a reminder to all of us on the Hill that we work for the Australian people. They send us here from all parts of this beautiful country to work for them, to understand what their lives are like and to represent them. So I'm pleased to be joined by Deputy Ted O'Brien and other colleagues as we make the case very strongly in this parliamentary sitting that the Albanese government is a government that failed to keep Australians safe over summer and has failed on the economy. Because we heard from the Prime Minister that the interest rate rises of the past were all in the past and that we were coming to clearer times, better times and times that would back in Australians. But that is not the case. Unfortunately, right now, Australians are struggling even more with the cost of living crisis. This is Labor's cost of living crisis. When Labor spends, prices rise and Australians pay. And I've been speaking to a lot of mums, and I know my colleagues have, and as they look at the expenses of going back to school last week and this week, and they're staring straight down the barrel of possibly more interest rate rises, that's $21,000 more out of pocket for the average mortgage holder since Labor came to government. And this is a Prime Minister who said that life would be cheaper under him. And this is a Prime Minister who said that we would not have more interest rate rises and that we would have a cost of living relief for Australians. It is so clearly not the case. So my team and I are determined and focused on the Australian people, on speaking up for them, on fighting hard for them every single day and holding this awful Labor government to account. Ted.
Thank you very much, Susan, for your ongoing leadership. And Susan's right that today's service is a reminder about who we are here to serve, and that is the Australian people. Mums and dads across Australia have been taking their kids back to school over the last week, and they know that they are feeling poorer. They're feeling poorer because they are. They're feeling poorer because they have an Albanese government which cannot stop spending taxpayers' money. When they run out of money, they just keep coming after more. The price of everything continues to go up, which is why the family budget is so tight. Families are having to trade things off. They don't know whether they should give up takeaways or they should give up the sports for the kids. Families are having to make hard decisions because this government refuses to make hard decisions. This is the highest spending government in 40 years outside of a pandemic. Is it any wonder that inflation is soaring? Even international bodies like the IMF make it very clear that inflation will be higher for longer in Australia. And there's a reason for that. We have an Albanese government which cannot stop spending money. And the more money it pours into the economy, which is tight on supply, prices go up. And it's mums and dads, it's everyday Australians who are paying the price. And today, as the first day of Parliament, it is a reminder that who we are focused on as a Liberal Party is the everyday Australian who is struggling. It is the Liberal Party who is going to bat because they are at the centre of our thinking. For us, the economy isn't the end game. It's the means by which we help struggling Australians. It's a means by which we can pay for vital public services. A strong economy is the means by which we can create a better life. Because under the Albanese government, people are becoming poorer. That need not be the case. In our country, they should be becoming more prosperous. Thanks very much.
Today, but Angus Taylor, James Harrison and John O'Donnell all been caught on camera meeting about your leadership. Have you sought explanations from your parliamentarians?
Every single one of my team is focused on the mission that I have outlined, that Ted O'Brien has outlined, and that all of my team is behind. Focused 100% on Australians. And I know that whenever we come together in whatever format that the media chooses to remark upon, we are talking about Australians and how important it is for them that we come to Canberra to fight for what they believe in, what they need and what they deserve, and most importantly, what they're not getting from this Albanese Labor government. Well, we had constructive conversations with the National Party last night, and I want to make the point that they were friendly, they were constructive. We agreed to keep talking because we are both parties on the non-Labor side of politics. And we both have a lot in common when it comes to the people we represent and the way we know we have to hold this Labor government to account. So we agreed that we would keep talking. The conversations were friendly, constructive, and will continue. And I know that David Littleproud will put some of the content of those conversations to his party room when they meet this morning, and similarly I will update my party room on where we are.
Ms. Ley, is there a way to get the coalition back together without bending to the Nationals' demands to get those 3 shadow ministers back?
Well, these are your words, and I want to come back to the conversations themselves. And while it's not appropriate that I go into the detail because we are still having a constructive discussion, but the Nationals have chosen to leave the coalition at this point. The door is open. I've maintained that the door stays open. But I am not focused on the door. I am focused straight ahead out here into the Australian communities that we love, respect and are determined to work hard every single day for.
They're not my words, they're David Littleproud's words.
Just might keep going on.
3 shadow ministers to be brought back. Is there another way?
Well, I don't have anything to add to the answer I've just given you.
Ms. Ley, are you confident of delivering the budget and reply speech this talk Liberals are asking Angus Taylor to challenge before then?
Very confident of delivering a strong budget in reply speech in May. Lots of work between now and May because we have a big agenda to prosecute. And when I look at the price rises forecast for Australians' electricity bills, I know that our affordable energy plan that we outlined in November last year is the one that will hold the government to account, back in ordinary Australians, bring manufacturing back to Australia where unfortunately it is leaving in its billions to go overseas, and most importantly help households struggling. And I just want to remind you that electricity prices have gone up 40% under Labor, but they're forecast this year to go up another 24%. That's not good enough. So we will prosecute that agenda and many more. And the first statement I made as leader of the Liberal Party, a party that represents aspiration, enterprise, choice and backs in Australians who get up every day to take risks and build a better country, the first speech I made was about managing the budget responsibly, and you've heard Ted O'Brien and my colleagues talk about that continually, because what we have now is runaway spending from this government that refuses to bring it under control, that is causing the inflation, that is hurting families so badly. We must manage the budget responsibly. Unless we do, we can't look after vulnerable Australians who are counting on us.
Ms. Ley, you talk about holding the government to account, but how can voters take the Liberals and Nationals seriously when you can't keep yourselves together and there's ongoing speculation about your own leadership? Why should voters trust you to hold the government to account?
I will continue to deliver a very strong message to voters, and all of my team is doing exactly that. Because voters have a clear contrast. They have an Albanese Labor government that promised them that effectively interest rates would start to stabilise and come down, but in fact the opposite appears to be the case. They have an Albanese Labor government that has no understanding of how hard they are doing it. They have an Albanese Labor government that is spending $50,000 a minute on interest on the country's debt. Very generous, this Albanese government, with borrowed money. And those borrowings are escalating and they're hurting Australians. So I am determined, my team is determined. We've got 6 out of the next 9 weeks of parliamentary sittings. We will be working hard every single day for the Australians that sent us here to work for them. Thank you.